Alberta, Sequeira, and I'm one of the published authors from our group, which is Authors Without Borders. And I guess we've been together a couple of years, but right now I'd say about a year it's been that we formed our group. And the reason we did that is we want to help other authors so that they don't make the same mistakes and spend all the money that we did on things that really weren't that important. And plus we have different talents. We have different books that we write on gentries too, so that helps. But we have different I want to say like workshops. We have one girl that talks about writing in retirement, how to do a press release, how to become your own publisher, how to have your manuscript published. So we put that all together and we offer it to schools and libraries, and also I do speaking engagements. So we thought it would be something worthwhile to offer to everybody that wants to learn the steps in getting published.
And tell me a little about your books.
Well, I started with my first book. It's Healing Heart, A Spiritual Renewal. I had no intentions of ever writing, but my father, who was a retired one-star brigadier general, came down with cancer. When he died, I started to realize I never took the time to really get to know who he was. So I decided to write a book really for the family, to leave to my children and grandchildren with my father's military status, and I didn't even realize, that once he was gone, the whole history also went with him. But once that book got published, for someone who didn't ever want to write, like I think an author would understand, as I went into my next book, which is Someone Stopped This Merry-Go-Round, an Alcoholic Family in Crisis. I opened the doors that I have kept closed for about 17 years, being married to an alcoholic. So I wrote my heart out in that book about the fear and the confusion and the abuse. And my husband died in 1985 from it. So right now I'm in the middle of writing the sequel. Hopefully it'll be done by July, and it's about losing my daughter in 2006 from the same disease. And that's going to be called Please God Not To.
And what advice do you have for other aspiring writers?
I would say to keep persevering. Don't give up, and you have to start today. It's so easy, like all of us, we put everything aside and we say we're going to do it later. And I think you have to treat it like a job, really. You have to make up your mind, this is what you're going to do. You can even do it just a half hour per day, and you'll be surprised how fast that manuscript will get done.
My name is Michael DeCicco, and I am the author of Carlin's Disciples, a young adult book about a teenage girl struggling with her identity with the help of a young radical high school English teacher that is who is very popular with his students, but very unpopular with the administrators who didn't like his style. And it starts with a lifelong love of wanting to tell stories and be creative, and the teacher that this teacher is based on was the man that inspired me as a writer back in high school, my high school English teacher. And the extraordinary thing is I just found him on Facebook, and he read the book and loved it, and all his friends and family are reading it too, he said. So I'm coming circle of being inspired to be a writer, writing about a fictional version of the man that inspired me to go further as a writer.
And what advice do you have for other aspiring writers?
To write, and rewrite, and don't get discouraged by negativity about your writing or from rejection slips, etc., because that's all part of the game, and to keep writing, persevere, and think of it as your avocation if you're young. Think of something that relates to what you love to write about, and maybe do that for your day job. The one advice I didn't follow from that teacher was I wish I had become an English teacher, because now I'm getting into teaching. I'm a substitute teacher, but being making it your day job too is good. All the published novelists there were college professors. Anyway, I don't know if that's getting off the subject, but just persevere and don't be easily discouraged.
My name is Willie Pleasance, I'm a short story and poetry writer. And my first book, I did it after retirement. And I did it because I was so frustrated with my job, my boss, people I knew. I wanted to write about them. So I did. And my first book was Ain't That the Truth? And my second book is Make Truth a Habit. It's short stories and poetry.
And what advice do you have for other aspiring writers?
If you're thinking about doing writing, do it. If you're not sure, you can take some classes, which will encourage, you take classes that kind of jumpstart your writing, give you subject, give you different things to write about. So you can take a few classes in that, and that'll jumpstart your writing.
My name is Patricia Perry, and I have a fantasy trilogy, Quest for the Source of Darkness, The Fortress of Darkness, and The Edge of Darkness, The Final Battle. They're action, adventure, mystery, magic, and a little bit of romance.
And what advice do you have for other aspiring writers?
Find a good editor, because no matter how good you think your manuscript is, he or she will end up cleaning it up for you, making it logical, taking out all superfluous items in there. Just make sure that you get a good editor, because they will either make you or break you.